Good evening, my gardeners, farmers, and smallholders. Welcome to Saturday night live stream, Brimwood Farm, and it's really good to be back. I know I haven't been around for a few weeks, so it's really great to be back to hopefully have a chat with you all and catch up on everything that's been going on. So we're going to do the usual. I'm going to quickly go over a few updates of what is going on here at Brimwood Farm, and then obviously we'll move into our chat and we'll catch up and hopefully find out everybody's news. So obviously, first thing first, last week we had the smallholding diaries, and there was a couple of things I just want to update you on. The broad beans, obviously I've been pinching out the top of those broad beans to get rid of the black fly. And I've done a couple more today, but they are growing really strongly. And so far, I don't know what it's seen, whether it's because we've had a long winter, but the black fly attacks on the broad beans don't seem to be as bad as previous years. So I don't know whether it's the same with you, but certainly here in the southeast of England, the black fly problems don't seem to be as bad. The other thing was the tree. Lots of you said it's not a peach, and yes, it's not a peach. I don't know what. I think when I found that tree and I planted it, it definitely looked like it had a little peach stone. So I've just been in this mindset of it is a peach tree. But obviously, lots of you said on the comments it's not a peach, it looks more like a walnut or something, and you're completely right. And I have actually gone online. I haven't worked out exactly what it is, but I know from obviously the pictures that I've seen that it ain't a peach. So we'll just see how it progresses and how it grows. It's a lovely little tree, so we'll just see what happens with it and see what happens from here on and as it grows. So we didn't have a Monday Magic, but we did have a chick check. So chick check is back. We're on week 2 now. So I did literally chick check was last week, literally a few days after they hatched, and then chick check week 2 was obviously this past Wednesday, and they've already started to grow up, and to produce their feathers. And I realised that of those 4 chicks, 2 are frizzles, which is really fun. And I also think 2 are Polands because they're extremely naughty. And Polands are very mischievous, very naughty. They keep escaping. And they're funny little characters. So I think I've got 2 Polands. And I don't know what the other 2 are. As I said, because they became from the layers flock, they could be anything. I purposely chose smaller eggs, so they're definitely not any of the, the brown layer hens. So they're some of the smaller bantams crossed with obviously Skeksis, who is the Poland frizzle boy. So we will see what happens with that, and we'll see how they grow, and hopefully we'll have some lovely looking chickens, and hopefully some hens, because as you'll see on this week, so tomorrow's smallholding diaries, the 6 that I hatched out last. So they were 1 Jersey Giant and 5 cream leg bars. 3 of those are definitely cockerels. So I've got a 50-50 ratio there. So I could do with a few more hens, if I'm honest. So hopefully we'll get a few more hens from this chick batch. Now, something extremely that has happened that is extremely exciting is we have hatched baby guinea fowl. So guinea fowl babies are actually known as keats, not chicks. And they take so long to hatch. They're like ducks. You're just waiting for them. But they have hatched. I had 6 eggs sent in the post. So they were hatching eggs. 4 were fertile. 1 died about midway. And then 3 actually hatched out. And as I mentioned in Brimwood Farm's community group earlier on today, I did actually bring one with me tonight. So it's under my jumper to keep it warm. It's climbed up round my back. I can't get it. I can't get it out. It's disappeared. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Come on. Here we go. And here it is. So this is one of our little guinea fowl. So this one's white. They look, well, I mean, look, they almost look basically like normal chicks. They've got very long legs, as you can see, and you can't really, because of the light, you can't really see the colour. This one is white on the sides, grey on the back, and they have little stripy heads. They make pretty similar noises to chicks. Look, yeah, you're being showcased. Maybe it'll focus you more on me if I bring it back to my face a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, so 3 little guinea fowls. So the first reason I wanted to have the guinea fowls was obviously as an alarm system because of the foxes. Now obviously at work I've discovered the guinea fowls aren't actually that loud when they know what is around them. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to train these little guys to know my dogs, to know me, to know my neighbours, to know the sound of things flying, birds flying overhead, so they don't freak out. And then when there are serious threats, like foxes, then they will go nuts and alarm and tell me that there's a problem down there. So I'm hoping that will be the way of things. I know. Oh, you having a little stretch? Yeah. So we'll see how they go. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with 3. I didn't want too many. And you are just adorable. So I'm going to put this... Are you okay? I'm going to put him back under my jumper for now. And then we will... Oh! We'll go back into the brooder in a minute when I've just finished all of my updates. So that is the little guinea fowl. Now, the slightly other bad news is with the rest of the pheasant eggs that we were hatching. It does seem that Sard has had a rather bad run of luck. So I obviously bought these hatching eggs online and they got sent to me for the guinea fowl and they were fine. Sard bought his I am Samanis. He bought some, which are obviously chickens. He bought some Lady Amherst and he bought some Reeves, because obviously we lost our Reeves hen, so he bought some Reeves eggs. None of them are fertile. So he bought them from 3 different people, we've incubated them, and none of them are fertile at all. We have 1 fertile Reeves egg, which is actually from work. I was doing a fertility test, and actually they have laid and they have mated. And they have successfully fertilised an egg. The only problem with those Reeves is the Reeves at work seem to be eating their eggs, so it's really difficult to actually grab one of the eggs before it's eaten and scurried away. Meanwhile, the silver pheasants at work, I keep doing fertilisation tests on their eggs, fertility tests on their eggs, because the hen is laying loads, but it seems that the male hasn't done his job and none of those are fertile. So in terms of the things with hatching pheasants here, it hasn't happened. The Monals weren't fertile, the Lady Amherst and the Reeves just haven't been fertile, but we have got obviously these little guineas, which is really, really good news. As with Chick Check, we are still doing chicken check-in, but it will be on a different day. So Chick Check is now for the next 3 months from every single Wednesday, and then chicken check-in, if you are still excited and you still want to join up, you can please by all means take part. I would love to have you on the channel and host you. We will just find a different day to upload your videos so it doesn't clash with Chick Check. And then yeah, finally today I've been mega busy finally catching up, because I've been working so hard in the job that it hasn't left me a lot of time. So today I've been pottering, I've been popping out courgettes and cucumbers and sowing runner beans and all sorts. So it's been really, really good. So now, I don't know if Liz Zorab is in the house. She's normally our moderator. If she's not here yet, she may be here later, but hopefully she will help us mod. Again, if you do want to ask a question, I've got this little baby keep running at my top. If you do want to ask a question, please ask in capitals, and that way I'm more likely to notice it. I am just going to leave you for 1 moment while I take this... Oh, God. While I drop this little chick, while I take this little Keat back to his buddies. So bear with me for about 30 seconds and I'll be right back. Come on. Right, I am back. So let me see who is here, because I've seen you. So Danielle Whelan is here. Hi Danielle, buddy Mandy. Hello, welcome to our chat tonight. Tracy is here. Lovely Tracy. Tracy says, I've tried to send a video for chicken check-in, but it's not able to send. Have you tried it sending it to me on WeTransfer.com? If you upload on WeTransfer.com, it's so WeTransfer.com, choose the free option. You should be able to upload it to their website, and then you put in my email as the recipient. And then it uploads to the website. I get an email when it's fully uploaded, and then I get a download link. So if you haven't tried that, try that, and then we can obviously get your chicken check-in sent across. Hilltop Jay, hello. Hilltop Farm Homestead, one of my Patreons, has just joined the chat. Welcome to our chat tonight. It's really good to see you. Alana is here as well. Who else? Anna. Kat, Danielle, Mr. and Mrs. Pullman, welcome to our chat tonight. There's loads of people here. Andrew is here, great. Fringe Dweller, it's really nice to see everybody. Thank you for stopping by tonight. So let's see what Anna just said. So Anna just said, hi Jeff, how many courgettes are you doing this year and how many apples did you get in the end? So courgettes, I've got 4 plants at the moment. I don't tend to do that many more because you literally, if you get a good courgette growing year, you are just inundated with courgettes. So I've only got 4 plants going. And because they're not trailing, sort of climbing, they're on the ground, I am short on space. I have done a quite high number of cucumbers this year because I'm trying a different method with them. So I'm actually growing them in arches. So I'm growing them along with sweet peas and cucumbers up and over arches because you can do that vertically. Courgettes you can't, well possibly you can, but I haven't seen courgette arches. But I have seen cucumber arches, so I'm trying that. And your question was, and how many apples did you get in the end? Well, so far, I think I've got 5 or 6 apples. They do drop some. Some of those little applets do get dropped and don't swell and form into true apples. So there will be the remainder of the season to see how many I actually get in the end. I will be happy with 1. I would love just to grow 1 apple I can pick and eat from my own garden. Obviously, it would be lovely to have many, many more, but just for this first season when we had all that blossom and then it's all fallen off, it would be nice just to have a few apples. Helen Sears here. Great videos, Jeff. Keep up the great work. Truly inspirational. Thank you so much, Helen. That's really, really nice of you to say. I'm just trying to do my little bit, really, and try and, as much as it's inspirational for you, it keeps me going. It's motivation for me as well to keep me going, because otherwise it's very easy to be lazy in this day and age. So making videos means that I have to keep doing stuff, which is always a help. Wasai is here. I'm still having a chat with Charlotte. Hopefully you should give us some chickens. Oh, that's really, really good. So Wasai lives in London. They've been trying to find chickens and not been having a lot of luck because a lot of the point of lay chickens by this time of the year have already been sold. So I really, really hope you can find some soon because I know you're all set up and ready to go. Buddy Mojo says, anybody else have problems with cats fishing for quail in the cage? Well, not me, because my cat is ancient. He's 20 and he's deaf, and I was looking for him because he's normally over there lying by the window. No, so he is useless. I mean, we have mice in this house, and he isn't killing them at all. He just sits there and he can't hear them. And I'm sure if one ran over his paw, he would just watch it and not bat an eyelid. Tracy has got 4 courgettes on the go too, which is really, really good. Brian is here from Allotment Life. Hi, Brian. Welcome to our chat tonight. I'm glad to see you. It's really nice to catch up with everybody. I feel like I've been completely out of the loop for so long. And Liz is here. Hello, Liz. So as I said earlier, Liz wasn't here yet, but Liz has popped in now. So we've got our moderator as well. So if any trolls appear, Liz can give them a swift bat over the head and get rid of them. French Jordan says, hi Jeff, how are your quail? My 4 quail hens are all grown up now and laying me an egg a day each. That's really, really good for quail. I do find my quail don't lay every day. So getting a quail egg every day from each hen is really, really good. Mine are doing really well. I'm actually about to do another hatch because I haven't done a hatch when was the last hatch? Easter. So I want to retest my fertility before I start selling hatching eggs again. So I need to do another quail hatch. So that's why one of the incubators has now been freed up. The other thing is I'm wondering whether quail eggs and possibly pheasant eggs don't travel in the mail as well. Because obviously I've received hatching eggs for chickens, for ducks and for guineas, and they've all been fine. But obviously we have just recently tried these pheasant eggs and they've been a disaster. None of them, they've been completely addled and none of them have hatched. And I sent out some hatching eggs, quail hatching eggs to somebody, and I know that my fertility is quite good because I've done fertility hatches myself. And when they tried to do them, again, they were all the whole 12 were addled. So I'm wondering whether the smaller the egg, the more it gets addled in the post, or maybe the postmen of late have been throwing things around a lot more. But yes, so that's a long-winded thing of saying my quail are really, really good. But I am going to be doing another hatch, so I'm looking forward to some more babies at some point. I just can't stop. Anna says, I've got 2 courgettes and my runner beans and tiny red little bulb things. I'm hoping that means beans. Yes, I'm hoping that means beans as well. That should be good. I literally only sowed my beans today. So I've been mega late. I've got behind. I haven't put in my beetroot. I'm way late. I haven't put in my carrots. I'm way late. And again, I've only literally just put in my runner beans and my French beans, which again is way late. I should have started by now, but all my poor little seedlings have just been sat around waiting to be potted on. So now I've potted them on, I've cleared some space. I can finally start to sow a little bit more stuff. And I have got this weekend off. I've got tomorrow off as well, which is really, really nice. So this is a full-on gardening weekend, trying to get that wasteland of a garden back in order and get some stuff outside. I have got lettuce. I've got my beans out. I've got some parsley and some coriander and dill. I've got spring onions, tomatoes, things like that. But just I haven't got any of my beets going. I haven't got my carrots going. I haven't got my what did I say? My beets. Yeah, beans, carrots, and beets. They're my 3 big things that I haven't got going yet. Lewis is here. Hey Jeff, thanks for the lovely comments on my garden. You're most welcome. I think it looks really, really nice, and everybody's garden is different and unique. And I think you've managed to. So for everybody else, Lewis is part of the Brimwood Farm community group, and he uploaded some photos of his little backyard that he's been doing over. And yeah, it looks great and colourful. It's really, really colourful, which I think is important, especially in a small back garden, to like brighten things up. Brian says, any of your apples that drop are known as the June drop. So there we go. So my apples, if I lose any of them, that will be down to the June drop. So let's fingers crossed that I don't lose too many, because there aren't that many to lose, to be honest. Danielle said, oh, so I think this is in relation to the cat, possibly the cat with the quail. She said, I had 2 girls killed, so I had to add aviary mesh to the bottom section all the way around the run. And it has been great, no more problems. They can watch but not hurt them. Yeah, so I think it depends on the cat. Obviously, my aviary outside is a bit of a cat TV, and I do get cats sitting on the aviary watching all my little aviary birds. And I don't know how, but the door on the quail run was opened yesterday. I don't think it had been open very long, but I walked outside and there were quail running around the garden. Luckily, my quail are very placid, very docile, and they just allow me to walk up to them and pick them up. So I did retrieve all 19 of them, although it took me a while because they were sort of hidden away in the undergrowth, and then I'd suddenly look across and one would run out from underneath the chair. But I did manage to round them all up in the end. Silly little things. Brian said he's normally asleep by now. To be honest, Brian, the past few weeks, yes, me too. Starting at 8 or 7:30 a.m. in the morning means that I, by 10 o'clock, am absolutely shattered and crawling into bed. So it's a rarity that I'm still up. Lana says, how are the guinea keets? Oh, I think you just literally missed them, Alana. So the 3 guinea keets hatched, and we had one tonight. So I actually had one on me, and I just showed you guys. So maybe after this video is done, if you just watch the video, the beginning of the video, you'll see my little guinea keet. But they're really, really good. I put pictures on Noble Poultry on Facebook, which is where I got them from. So I got a chap that I got them from there. He seemed to think they are all lavenders, but one is white with lavender on the side. So I'm hoping that's going to be a white one. And then I've got 2 lavender ones. But they're doing really, really well. They're actually in with the Chick chicks. So they're all under that little brooder. And they seem to be really strong, really healthy. So I'm very, very happy. I didn't have to let them out. I didn't have to help them out of eggs or anything. They hatched really quickly, actually, especially in comparison with chickens. The chickens really, really tease us when it comes to hatching. They just take forever, and they make us think they've died or they're not going to make it. And these guys, two had cracked. I went to work, came back, all 3 were out. So that was good, because I hate that kind of. I still get nervous around hatching time because I'm never quite sure who's going to be hatching, are they going to need any help, etc. Danielle says, 2 quail babies drying up and in the incubator as we speak. Yes, you do. You are. Congratulations to Danielle, the new quaily mum here. Her quails are very cute. And Andrew says, do you have any more wildlife hidden in your pockets, Jumper? Not right now. I don't think so anyway. There might be a spider or 2. But not, as far as I know, there's no more wildlife under my jumper yet. Hi, Andrew. Andrew's logged in and he's just saying hi, welcome to our chat tonight. And Buddy Mojo is saying, I'd like more quail. Well, I have some. So Mandy actually took a couple of my female quail a couple of weeks ago. So I hope they are settling in well. And she says, I've got 7 out of 12 from eggs through the post. That's really good. That's a very good hatch rate, 7 from 12, and through the post as well. And then, mind you, 4 were male. Of course, that's the other issue, isn't it? We get boys and girls. And Liz has her turkey babies. Yes, if anybody is watching Liz Zorab's By the Farm vlog, you'll know that she's had turkey babies coming out, which I'm very jealous of because I really, really, really want turkeys. So it's really, really cool that you've got turkeys. And as I saw on Facebook as well, Liz, they came out in a multitude of different colours. So I'm going to be really interested to see how they grow and the colours they turn into. And everybody seems to be loving the turkeys. Yes, and Andrew's saying, where can I get turkey hatching eggs from? Can't find any. Actually, I would like to know that as well, because I would like to hatch some. There is a possibility that I may be sort of getting some for work. So it'd be very, very cool for me also to find some hatching eggs so we could hatch them out and have a nice trio at work to showcase. Brian says, I tried hatching quail eggs in the past. My theory is postage time delays the time for hatching. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do find that, and also obviously it does disrupt the air cell inside, so you often get those saddle eggs. Now, I often find that actually, as long as the saddle isn't too big, the chick can get out. The problem I find is if you have a smaller egg, so obviously eggs come in all different sizes. If you incubate some of the smaller eggs and they're saddled, I find that sometimes chicks get stuck because of the shape of the air cell. They then can't rotate around properly to get out. But I haven't found it disrupts chicken eggs very much, and I haven't found, obviously I've had good hatching with my ducks and good hatching with my keats. So I don't know whether it's just a quaily thing or a pheasanty thing, I'm not sure. Or maybe Sard, unfortunately, has just had really, really bad luck with this little run on eggs. Wasai says, started growing some vegetables as well. Got tomato plant going, some broccoli, some carrots, but at the moment just started no fruit just yet. That's really, really good. I'm happy to hear that. That's great. What is this? What type of feed is for quail, do you mean? I just feed my quail like a general purpose. Actually, they get mealworms, live mealworms. They get some veggies, and they get obviously the chicken pellets. You can buy like a dedicated quail feed, and you can also buy game mix, which is quite good for them. But because I'm already buying in loads of chick crumb and layers pellets and barley to ferment, my quail end up getting those. Jay says, since daylight saving ended here, the time is out of whack for me. It's not even 7 a.m. Blimey, Jay, you are up early. It's not even 7 a.m. I'm normally out on the farm at this time. Oh, crikey, 7 a.m. I am not out on the farm. I don't know, Hildebrand US. So I have no idea who they are, Liz. I trust your judgment, so we'll see. I can't read the message right. I can't even speak. Right. I didn't stutter. That was just me stuttering. I'll look at the message afterwards and see what happened. Anna says, I watched your chick video and the little Polish one is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. It's so naughty though. Those two frizzles have been leaping out and running around the conservatory. I've actually had to put a mesh top on it today because they were just causing a ruckus. And I was worried as well with the door open. They are still tiny. And we have magpies around here, so a magpie would have easily just flown in the door, grabbed one and carried it off. So I put a little mesh top over the top so A, they can't fly out, and B, things like magpies, brazen magpies as well, can't come into the conservatory and grab them. Liz says she's joined a Facebook group called Turkey Club UK and asked on there. Lots of folks offer them for sale. That's really good. So I might join that as well on Facebook and try and find some hatching eggs. If I'm given the go ahead, of course, because there's no more room out here. I am stuffed to the gunnels. I've got way too many chickens, and I've also got, obviously, I'm still developing this toasted marshmallow silky line. So I've got all of my silkies as well, and that was something that I never expected to be doing. So I never kind of planned on having needing lots of room for tons of silky babies, which I can then choose the colours to carry on the line from. So at the moment, I've got my 4 adult hens and Barry, but I have, goodness only knows how many chicks, probably about 20 chicks that are all different stages of growing. And because the toasted marshmallow colour doesn't come through till late, I can't cull or sell early. I've got to wait for them to properly molt out. So I've got a lot. So there's no way I can cram anything more in out here at the moment. Brian says, I had to laugh yesterday. One of my plot mates is holding some guinea fowl for a mutual friend. They look brill. He reckons they are nasty buggers. Can't wait for them to go. I love them. I really like them. I mean, our ones at work used to be really, really noisy, but because I like them, I've been going into the run almost every day when I'm there, and I've been doing it up and renovating the run and putting in. The nice thing I found about guineas is that they don't destroy plants, so I've been actually planting their aviary up a little bit, and they have simmered down a lot and they've become quite nice. So I'm really hoping they're going to be good for helping to keep the fly population under control. And obviously, as I said as well, a good alarm system, because when they do go, they are blimmin' loud. Morning, Nola. Welcome to our chat. Nola is over in Australia too, so she is obviously on a very early one over there. And Brian says, I'm on the plot 5 a.m. when I can. Brian, you are a stronger man than me, because 5 a.m. I am definitely laying in my bed still, woozy. I don't sleep that great these days, but I'm definitely not on the plot at that time. Wasayama says, because I would like organic eggs, so what should I be feeding my chickens? Well, so Liz might be able to help you on this, because Liz only feeds organic. I feed mine, obviously, layers pellets, and layers pellets has soy in it and stuff, so it's not organic. But you can feed them fermented barley. So the barley obviously is organic as long as you ferment it itself and you find a source for it being organic. So you can make your own ferment from organic grains. But Liz might have some better ideas of what she feeds hers for you. And if she doesn't answer you here tonight, make sure you go and check out her channel. I'm very sorry if I say this wrong, but Haristijan Lochik says, can you do more quail videos? Yeah, sure. I can definitely do some more quaily videos if you like. Just tell me the sorts of things you would like to see and I will upload them. Obviously, I've got one on sexing and I've got one on like the one that took off. So the 6 reasons to keep a quail, which I think has over 250,000 views now, which is insane. I mean, 250,000 people have watched that video. It's insane. And actually, of that 250,000, the proportion of hate that I've got from it has actually been quite small. I mean, you know, I've still had some nasty messages, but proportionally, when you think of, you know, I could probably count them on my fingers and toes, the number of hate messages I've got. And when you think 250,000 people have seen it, that's not bad. So I will definitely do some more quail videos for you guys. And I'm hoping as well to get in some different varieties of quail. So obviously at the moment I've got my Coturnix quail and I have 3 male Chinese painted quail, but I'm hoping to get in a few more different varieties, possibly some bob whites and things as well. So we can do some quail videos on those and compare them, especially as a homestead, what they can bring to the homestead when you're small holding in terms of production value as well. Because I love animals and I'm always collecting, but let's not forget that we are also kind of focused on food and producing our own food at home. So it'll be interesting to see that. Kat says, PAC, Jeff, it's needed. I don't understand what you mean, Kat. Tell me what PAC is. You're abbreviating, and I'm obviously too tired for abbreviations. And Kat's saying, any feed labelled organic fruit and veg from your garden. So yes, that's perfect, Wesley. That's a help for what to feed your chickens. Andrew says, bought 4 Cayuga ducklings today from the auction approximately in 1 week. Lovely. I love a duckling. Anyway, sexing, or do I wait till 6 weeks to voice sex? I don't know. So if anybody knows about ducklings, please let Andrew know. I don't really know a lot about ducks. I know that Pekins, you can tell by the little drake curl on their tail. And I did vent sex my khaki Campbells on day 2. So I think I've got a drake and 2 hens, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think at a week the vent sexing potential has gone. So I'm not sure then how you do it. I will say my ducks, they are so messy. So I am having issues at the moment in keeping the chicken coop dry. The main thing is obviously the poultry yard has the yard outside and then the bit inside. Now when I'm gone for full days at a time, from very early on, and I know that I'm not going to be back till dusk, they are not allowed in the poultry yard. They stay in their shed, which has food and water and windows and stuff, but they stay in there because they're protected from the fox. The problem with that is the ducks can't get to their pond, so the ducks then try and get into the water drinkers. And it's just been a nightmare lately trying to keep that dry in there. Currently, I have my water drinkers, so I don't use like a nipple system or anything like that. I use just a box of water, and currently that's stood inside a grow bag box with lips. So currently the ducks come up and they drink, and obviously as ducks do, they pull their bill up full of water and then they stand there and they spray it everywhere because, you know, a duck needs to put as much water as many places as possible. And it works to an extent, but it's still getting quite wet, so I haven't found a system yet to completely dry it. But ducklings are the cutest. But adult ducks, boy oh boy, I don't think I was quite prepared for the mess. Danielle says, my grandma's visiting at the moment. I showed her Chick Check and she loved them. Oh, that's so nice. Thanks, Danielle. Thank you for showing her. That's really, really nice to hear that she saw them. Dan Robinson is here. Hi, Dan. Welcome tonight to the live stream. And Budgie Mojo is saying, anybody else been out picking elderflower for cordial? No. And you have reminded me that's something I really, really want to do. So you have reminded me that's something I need to start picking. There's tons of elderflowers around here, so I need to go and start picking a few flowers. My own one, I have a black lace one, has also started flower, so I might pick, it's only got a couple of flower clusters on it, but I might pick a couple of those as well and try and make some cordial. Wasai says, don't you have chicken or chicks for sale? I do have some for sale, but mine are all, I think you're looking for point of lay chickens that are going to lay lots of eggs. And at the moment, I only actually have bantams, which only lay tiny, tiny eggs. But we can always, if you want to message me, we can always chat. I might be able to find somebody else that has some stuff for you. So message me and we'll see what we can do. Are you on, and if you're on the Facebook group, Brimwood Farm's community group, ask on there as well, and we'll try and link up. Brian says, I might be on the plot at 5 a.m, but I'm back in bed after dinner. That sounds perfect. That sounds great to me. Siesta time. All that hard work early in the morning when nobody's around as well, so you can just get on and do it, and have that breeze as well. There's something like the early morning chill, which I actually love. Yeah, that'd be really nice. I like it. Liz says 10 minutes of quails running around would be great. Well, yeah, you might get a bit bored of 10 minutes. I should have filmed when they escaped. Then you could have had 10 minutes of me running around the garden trying to catch 19 quail from all sorts of places. Oh, why didn't I think? It would have been good. Alana says, I would love some quail at some point. Not this year, though. Need to make sure the nasty neighbours aren't going to get me evicted over the hens first. Yeah, they are nasty. I'm glad, though, that so far all has been quiet. And you will be pleased to hear that Sonny is still doing a miraculous job with his ladies. And my education team at work have been thrilled because in the past they've only had 2 or 3 of 7 chicks hatching out. And Sonny has been doing his job and they've been getting 7 out of 7. So he is a very, very good boy. And of course, I also have 5 of his chicks out the back. So he's been doing brilliantly. So if you do want some quail in the future, maybe we can talk about getting you some from here. Dan said 2 weeks ago I went out and bought 7 hens. Pretty much an impulse buy though. I didn't actually go to the auction myself. Oh, I didn't actually go to the auction for myself. That's the worst thing, Dan. You should know. Never go to an auction with any money, especially an animal auction, because you end up buying stuff. Or I do it at any least. I can't help it. Kaiser sausage. I'd like to get some zebra finches. Can you do an overall care video for them? I can, and that is something that I must sort out, and I must get one because their overall care is actually very simple. And I've got tons, and I have so many babies at the moment. I mean, to be fair, I have probably neglected my zebra finches this year in terms of I just haven't been in the aviary. I feed them, I water them, I make sure everything's fine, but I haven't been poking in nests or anything. And there are just babies everywhere. So I do actually need to go in there and do a bit of a stock take because I think I've almost doubled the number of birds I've got, so I need to take some out. But yes, that's a very good call, and I will try and get something of that done, and possibly like a budgie one as well. And I need to give you an update on the budgies as well, because everything's fine. We haven't got any more babies. I just want to give you a bit of an update on those chicks and how they look now, because they're all starting to molt out into their adult plumage. Allotment Life says, I still understand the negatives. YouTube just grab the thumbs down. Oh, yeah, I know. But as we talked about in the past, and has been mentioned, a thumbs down is still a view. I don't know why some people tend to pick out, the past few videos I've got a few thumbs down for no reason. You think, well, why would you bother? Why wouldn't you just skip to the next video? But, some people like to be negative in life. Ah, and Kat, yes, I just realised I'm quite behind, aren't I? Because I'm only just on Kat's Poultry Addiction Clinic. I think this Poultry Addiction Clinic is a great idea. Why don't we meet up for a Poultry Addiction Clinic at the Poultry Nationals? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Hold a Poultry Addiction Clinic meeting at the Poultry Nationals this November. Very ironic, but that would be fun for us all to meet up there. French Jordan says, Jeff, how is that quail with the injured beak? Could it be caused by the water bottle as the weather has been hot and it was pecking at it too much? The quail was absolutely fine. It lived with those chicks for a couple of weeks until it healed. Now, it's not going to probably, I don't know, will it regrow? So basically what it's done is it's snapped the end of the top of its beak. I do not know how it's done it. I don't think it's done it on the water bottle because everybody else is perfectly fine. So I don't quite know what's happened. It is okay though, it's healed, and I've put it back now with the other quail, and you can't even tell it apart unless you sort of grab them up and look at their beaks. So it is perfectly fine. But thanks for answering. But yeah, I'm not sure how they do it. I think part of the thing is it's quite low, and as we've talked about in the past, quail, when they freak out, they jump. And so that's why you should never have them in too high an aviary. So my aviary was really good because they don't fly up to 6 foot. But and then you should always keep them in quite low, because if you keep them in a 3 or 4 feet, they get up enough oomph when they fly up to smash themselves. But I think even in that hutch, some of the injuries are from them freaking out at night, possibly when the fox comes and they're flying up into the top of the hutch, even though it's only that, but they're still banging themselves. But it is doing really well, thank you for asking. Hilltop Farm Homestead said, how long do quail need to be under heat for after hatching? I tend to leave them for quite a long time. I find that quail chicks are really, really fragile. They just like to kill themselves. If it ain't drowning, it's loud noise. And if it ain't loud noise, it's getting too cold. I know with chicks, obviously, we talk about you can leave chicken chicks in the incubator for up to 24 to 48 hours after they've hatched. But we all tend to move them out before then because we want to count them, we want to hold them, we want to see them. But with quail, I always advise wait a good 24 hours before you even move them out of the incubator because they are so fragile. And just that change in heat from the incubator from 37.7 degrees going into a brooder can also just make them go and they'll die. So I tend to leave them in the incubator for at least 24 hours until after the last one is hatched, and then I just keep giving them heat the whole way through until they start to feather up and they're not using it anymore. What I generally do is, now I've got this this artificial electric hen thing, I just have that and I just leave that in the corner, and I leave it on all the time until I notice that they're not sleeping under it. They'll, once they huddle up a different end and they're not under the electric hen, then I guess they've feathered up enough not to need it. But I don't want to give you an exact time frame because obviously it all depends on your ambient temperature and stuff as well. Tracy says, do ducks need a pond or will a paddling pool be okay? A paddling pool is perfectly fine for ducks, especially it depends on the type of ducks. So khaki camels, for instance, are kind of known as a land duck. They're not big swimmers. Muscovies, again, they don't need a massive pond to be around. So as long as they've got some water to jump in, to clean in, paddling pools are great. The one thing I would say, though, with paddling pools is ducks actually have really sharp claws. You might not think it to look at, but they actually have, between that webbed, they have really sharp claws, and they, a cheapo paddling pool, they're gonna claw and break. So you might be better with an old children's sandpit or something like that. So we obviously had the paddling pool to start with, but now I've swapped what was the old chicken dust bath, which is one of those children's sandpits inside the big turtle. That's now a little pool. Because obviously that's thick, hard plastic, and the ducks can't rip it or break it. Brian said, I meant to say, I don't understand the thumbs down. I don't understand the thumbs down either. It seems silly to me. I don't understand why people want to know about it. I think YouTube uses it as part of their algorithm to say which videos they want to promote. So obviously, if somebody's got lots of thumbs down, they're not going to start, that video is going to fall in the terms of whether they're going to promote it or not. But yeah, I don't really understand why we need to see it or anything like that. Kat says, has anyone got a good recipe for elderflower cordial? That would be interesting. I wonder if somebody's answered under here, because I would like to make some elderflower cordial myself this year, and also some elderberry wine. I am intending on going up to the farm and then over the next couple of weeks, and we've got loads of elderberries up there, elderflower trees. Elderflower, elderberry, elder. We've got lots of elder up there. So I'm intending on picking quite a lot of flowers to make cordial, and then going back to pick up the berries to make some elderberry wine, because I would really like some elderberry wine. Alana says, yay for Sonny. Yay for Sonny! He's living the good life. Everybody loves Sonny. And he's such a nice chicken as well. He's not an attacky chicken. He's a really nice chicken. Buddy Mojo there. So Mandy's just quickly put out a quick recipe for elderflower cordial for everybody. 3 litres of water boiling, 3 lemons sliced, 1 kilogram of sugar, 50 grams of citric acid, and enough elderflower to fill with as much green removed. Let it sit for 24 hours and then strain and bottle into sterilised containers. And I will say that Mandy / Buddy Mojo knows what she is doing, because she is a prepper like nobody else. When she popped around, she brought me all sorts of goodies, from desiccated kale to onion and tomato powder, which was amazing. So she knows what she's talking about. Wesley says, how far are you from London? Not very far, about a half-hour drive. So we are out near Lakeside in Essex, so we're actually very close, depending on the side of London you're from. So East London, we're about half an hour out. Obviously, if you're West London, a bit further. Zoe, hello Zoe, welcome to our chat tonight. So Zoe says, any tips for a first-time chicken owner? Just about to finish uni and I'm getting some chickens as a graduation present to myself. What a great graduation present. I highly approve. Not what most 21-year-olds do. It's what most, decent 21-year-olds do. I think that is a blimmin' good idea. So any tips for first-time chicken owner? The main thing I would say is just make sure you stay on the right side of the rules. There are lots of silly rules, and some people think it's stupid red tape that you can't feed, kitchen scraps to your chickens and things. But there is a reason for it, to do with biosecurity. So make sure you know the rules. And I have got a video on it. So if you look up 6 chicken keeping rules or something like that, there you'll be able to find that. But my most important tip is just to enjoy them. It is worth looking into coops as well, because I think a lot of first-time chicken keepers think, oh, it'd be really nice to have a movable coop that we can move around the lawn, and they'll always have grass and all of this. But it doesn't work out like that. I've been there. I've done that whole thing, and you just end up with a completely ruined garden. So I highly advise actually a static run is best, and if possible a run that you can actually walk into, because although you can get these nice little coops that are quite small and they look really really pretty, they are an absolute pig to muck out. So you either need to get everybody shut up into the nest box and then get somebody else to help you to lift it, move it somewhere else for a temporary measure, and then scoop out everything, or you're literally on your hands and knees inside trying to get everything out. So I would say static runs are probably the most ideal, and a run, if you haven't bought it yet, a run that you can actually physically get inside quite easily to muck out is probably best. And then just look up the rules and regulations about keeping them, and enjoy them, because chickens are wonderful. And welcome to the chicken bug. Categories, yes. So we should have the poultry addiction clinic at the national show. I think that would be highly ironic and hilarious at the same time. Dan says, my sheep are getting sheared tomorrow. Can't wait for them to look natural again without ruddle and spray paint. I know, our sheep at work still have not been shorn, and I can't wait. And it's been so hot. Those poor sheep, we need to have them shorn. So it'd be really, really nice. I'm going to have to check out your Insta. Make sure you put up some Instagram photos of your newly shorn sheep, so I can see them. That'd be great. Octopus Crime is here. Hello, welcome. He says, yes, I've missed these live chats for too long. Hi all. Hi to you as well. I've missed it. I've really wanted. It's gutting, on a Saturday night. I'm so tired. By 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm just in bed. So it's nice to catch up with everybody tonight. Oakfield Farm is here. Hello. Am I late? I've got to admit, Jeff, it's been a while. I created this new YouTube channel. It's Robert's Farm. Oh, hello. Welcome. Me and my father recently bought an acre and a half for an amazing price. Oh, congratulations. That's really, really good news. Because, land is expensive. So getting a good price for land is extremely good. So welcome. Thanks to come back to the channel. Fringe, is anybody else having trouble with the picture freezing? Anna says, no, I don't think it's my end, because my computer's working fine. So hopefully it's just a little glitch with you, Fringe, and hopefully it will sort itself out pronto. Octopus Crime says, hi, I finally got some chickens. Yes, great. We got another one to the chicken addiction. One leghorn and one bluebell. I think that's what they are. I love bluebells, and I actually love leghorns as well. Leghorns are known as being a bit flighty. I would certainly say my Exchequer leghorn is a bit flighty. But bluebells are absolutely lovely little birds. Or big birds, actually. Bluebells are quite big. So congratulations. Oakfield Farm. So Robert's Farm says we've got 3 Castle Milk Morrit sheep, 2 ewes and a ram. Hopefully they will breed in spring. That's amazing. I don't even know what they are. Castle Milk Morrit sheep. I'm going to look those up because I've not heard of those before. I've also started being in Brahma, so I've been very busy. You have been. Tracy says, do you need more than 1 duck if you have chickens? Yes, I would advise you do, because again, ducks are not chickens, and they are so short, and they do need their own little group. I've got my 3 khaki Campbells, and actually the chickens don't really like them, and I think you may find if you have 1 duck, especially if it's not brought up alongside chicks, it would be an outcast and it would just get attacked all the time. I mean, even my 3 get clobbered by the rooster now and then. And when they huddle together and they hang out. So definitely need more than 1. Jeff Eden is here. Welcome, Jeff. Hello from Canada. He says, I'm making some apple cider vinegar this year. Yes. Another thing I would like to make myself homegrown. I currently buy my ACV for all the health benefits. But it'd be great to make some of my own. So if you do that, please share it on our Brimwood Farms community Facebook group, and we can all get involved. Alana says, I made some elderflower cordial a few years ago using a recipe from the River Cottage Preserves book. I can't wait to make more. Actually, you've reminded me, I do have that book, so I'm going to have to dig it out and utilise it. And Kat's saying apple cider vinegar is super easy to make, and that is my kind of recipe, because I ain't no cook. So something that is super easy to make is definitely the way to go for me, I can tell you. Let's see. Alana says, I had chickens when I was 21, loved them to bits. See, so Katie, you are not the only one wanting to have chickens as your 21st graduation gift. I love it. Wasay says, we used to live in Gillingham, Kent, and I've studied in Essex, so you are Nin. Well, yes, I'm guessing you know where I am then. So I'm near Lakeside, so yeah, I'm fairly easy to find. So Jay says, how are the budgies going? The budgies are going great. They're doing really, really well. So I haven't had any more chicks. I did move out. Obviously, I bought those new two budgies. We haven't named them, actually. You've just reminded me. I need to pop onto Patreon and have a chat with you and the other patrons, and we need to name those budgies. But yeah, so I took out Pluto. So Pluto and the other girl are in the cage on their own. She's not actually in breeding condition at the moment, so they're just on their own bonding. They have bonded, so hopefully they have got a nest, so when she's ready, they can go and do the business. The others are just hanging around in their flight. It's really nice to have got Venus out of the nest because she was a beast from just sitting in that nest box for 9 months. So she's getting some exercise, and all those chicks are now starting to go into their adult plumage. So I do need to do a little video on it so that I can update you on what they look like now. Our little splayed leg chick is still splay legged, but it doesn't bother him at all. It's a him, and he flies around and he sits on the perch like that. And they do slide out from under him, but he can perch completely normally. He can walk around on the floor. It's not an issue. He's learned to live with it completely. I won't be breeding from him. I doubt he'd actually be able to mate because of the way his legs are. It's not a genetic disability. It was a physical disability from when he was in the nest. So I don't think it would be passed on to any babies. But I don't actually think he'd be able to mate, as I say, because of the way he is. I think he'd probably fall off. But that's fine because he's a very pretty little budgie and I love him. So he can just stay as he is. But yeah, they're really, really good, Jay. Thanks for asking. Nola, so this is about chicken tips. Nola says, agree with the coop research. Got mine secondhand on eBay as well as a portable chicken fence. That's really, really great. I'm always a little bit wary of buying chicken coops secondhand, especially wooden ones, because I'm scared to death of bringing red mite in. I have got away with never having red mite. Now I've said that, I will probably go out tomorrow and find an entire horde of them. But yes, I haven't actually had it yet, and I'm petrified of bringing it in. So I'm afraid from now on I will be buying brand new, or I'll be making them from raw materials because I'm too scared to buy secondhand and get those horrible, dreaded red mite in my place. A lot more nicer. Brian, again, this is Chicken Tip, says 2 static runs are best. You can use them in turns as readily manured growing spaces. What a great idea. Yeah, so if you had 2 big static runs, you could switch the chickens and sort of a rotational basis, which would be quite cool. And you could even just do cover crops in one, just to and then you could dig it out, or you could just leave it to go, you could leave one run free and then it would go dry, and then that would make it easier just to dig out the manure on the bottom and shove it onto a compost or a manure heap and then rotate the chickens back in. So that's actually a good idea if you've got room. Oh, Liz has been doing some wonderful well done, Liz. You've been doing some wonderful modding there. I can see that there's a few trolls, especially by one's wonderful name. Oh dear, silly people. Octopus Crime says, have you named the splay chick? He should be the channel's mascot. What a good idea. I haven't named him yet. I am going to add him to a Small Holding Diaries link. I'll get a video of him and let's do that. Let's make him a little channel mascot, shall we? Because he's worth it, and we went through a lot with him. Obviously, I was very worried about him, and then the other chicks obviously died from that batch. So yeah, that'd be cute. So I will do a little video over the coming week, and we'll see. What I say is, if people aren't interested in farming, why message rubbish? Exactly. Why even bother coming onto a live stream if you've got no interest or nothing to say? If you watch a few minutes and you don't like it, go away to another one. It's that simple. But people don't get the idea, do they? It's people in life. They're just annoying. But I will say the silver lining in that is it makes me realise how great you lot are. because you know, we have these rubbish people coming in, and then you lot are all like, get out, and I love it. So it just makes me appreciate you guys even more. Right, Brian is going because he is knackered. And I don't know why I can't see his message. Oh, nice to be here. Yes, so all right, Brian, take care. And actually, I'm not going to do an hour and a half tonight because I am also fairly shattered. So I'm going to do an hour. So I'm only going to be on for another 5 or so minutes. But yes, good night, Brian. And thank you so much for stopping by. It's nice to catch up. Kat said, we started having our extension done at 9 a.m. and she lost her, oh dear, police and council involved. Well, 9 a.m. is allowable. Isn't it the hours between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. that you're not allowed to, that you can make noise, and anything before you're not supposed to? And 11 p.m. is darn late, so 9 a.m. is not a unbelievable time to have builders coming in and things. You know, most people should be up by 9. And if they're not, they're lazy. Although I'm saying that I used to be a 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock sleep-in person, so I have been that person that would have been annoyed. But now, you know, my body clock is now adjusted to having to get up at 6:30 every morning, and because my mind is always, you know, I'm an early person. I hate to be late for everything. So if I have to get up at 6:30, my brain automatically wakes me up at 5:30, and then I doze for an hour. So now there's no way I can sleep in. So today I did have a sleep in, and I think I slept in until 7:15, and so that was quite a late one. Jay says, yes, I've got choirs to get on with too, so sleep well. Bye. Bye, Jay. Have a great morning over there in Australia, and we will soon be on Sunday too. Yeah, and I think so. Kat says, yes, 8 a.m. onwards is fine, because I think I always keep that in mind when it comes to the cockerels as well. You know, 8 a.m. is kind of my, right, I can get my cockerels out, and if they start making noise, then it's tough. Anything before then, I try and minimise. So I do work to that 8 a.m. Issue. It's slightly difficult at the moment with work because I start work at 8 a.m, which means I have to leave the house obviously before then, which means I have to actually let my cockerels out before then. In the winter months, it won't be so bad because it won't be as light. Obviously, in these summer months, it's a little bit worse. But I do find, actually, I find it slightly better at the moment because they tend to wake up around 6 a.m, even with a blanket. And they have a bit of a crow, but because they're all inside at that point, they're muffled. And I've been out walking the dogs before at that time, and they're fairly quiet and you can't really hear them. So they kind of wake up at 6, have a bit of a crow, a muffled crow, and then by the time it gets to me getting up and shoving them out in the coops, they just want to see their ladies by then, so they don't actually crow that much. So actually, at the moment, it works quite well. I think it will switch when it's literally they are starting to wake up as I'm waking up and putting them out. Then we'll have the difficult issue. Anna says, I hope you have a good weekend gardening, Jeff, and I hope you all have a good weekend. Thank you. I've had a really good day today doing lots of gardening and catching up. Loads more to do tomorrow, but I've done the bulk of it today, which means tomorrow it can just be quite relaxing, which is very nice. And Anna says, I have to shoot the chicks for lice first thing tomorrow morning. Found one on the window dots and really don't want them to spread. Yeah, nip it in the bud. I had feather lice here, and it was a right pain to get rid of. It was so difficult, and they don't really do the birds any ill harm unless they're in huge numbers, but you just don't really want them. And when I brought salt and pepper in, they had them really badly, so they had to be quarantined for quite a while. Yeah, so try and get rid of them ASAP. They're also very annoying, and this obviously won't happen to you because you're vegetarian, but they're very annoying when it comes to plucking, because those lice, as soon as you start plucking and they want to get away from that hot water, they run up your arms, and it is not nice. So yeah, get rid. Hi AJ, welcome. Yes, you are a little bit late. We're about to stop, but it's very nice to see you this evening, and that beautiful, I was going to say it's a clematis, but it's not, is it? It's actually a geranium, I think. But yeah, beautiful little avatar you've got there. Octopus Crime says, Jeff, do you have a video on chicken vocals and what they possibly mean? I don't, and what a good idea for a video. I've got some very good ideas for videos tonight. That's actually a really good idea. because obviously I think I probably take most of my chicken vocals into, uh, I take them for granted because I automatically know what a lot of them mean. But it'll be a really good idea actually for me, and interesting actually as well, to capture some of those sounds. And do a little video on it. And also actually behaviour, and this is something I've noticed at work. A lot of people don't or misunderstand some chicken behaviour, and so they think a chicken is attacking them when he's actually doing, his little shuffle, and then they react wrongly, and then they get attacked. So I also might do a video on certain chicken behaviour characteristics and how to avoid exacerbating a problem that wouldn't have been there in the first place. So that's a good topic of conversation to do. But yeah, that chicken vocals is really good. Thank you for the idea. Lana says, I forgot to shut the hen house a couple of days. They were walking around the garden doing their bok bok noise at 5 a.m. Oh, crikey, you are very lucky. In terms of predators, I mean. But yes, chickens out at 5 a.m. They must have thought their days had all aligned. The stars had aligned and given them a wish, all their wishes. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the dogs. Octopus Crime says, only asking because my hens are the loudest in the day at 8:30 a.m. because they hear my alarm clock. Because they've learned. I bet they've learned that once your alarm clock goes off, you're going to go down and see them. They are not idiots. Chickens, I know, they do have tiny brains, but those tiny brains are still intelligent enough to, do the whole is it Packle's bell with the dog, and ringing the dog and the food and the treat and stuff. Chickens can still do association for things like that really, really well. Body Mojo just says, I've just ordered a wisteria. Is it too late to plant? No, it's not too late to plant. Just make sure you water really well. I actually bought my wisteria around this time of the year as well. Water them in because they do dry out very, very quickly at this time of year. And you may find it doesn't actually flower next January either because it's still settling in. So it may take, 18 months from now to flower. But it's no... With plants, I know there's a right time to plant and there's a wrong time to plant and a right time to split and a wrong time to split. But, if you want something, I just say buy it. Buy it, shove it in. If you need to dig something up, dig it up, look after it, keep it watered, and it normally should be all right. Alana says, we live on the edge of town. There are foxes on the common land opposite, but they don't come past the fields. You are very lucky, as are your chickens. That's really, really good. I'd have been very scared for my poor chickies, but I'm glad they're all still with you. And AJ says, oops, I have been to B&Q and got 12 pounds of strawberries for £4. That's good. That's not oops, that's great. And she rose me 2 for £1 and a chilli. So I've been busy potting them up this evening. I'll put up pics tomorrow. Wonderful. Yeah, our B&Q also had offers today, and they had a load of lavender, which are normally 4 for 10. And they were half price, so they were 4 for 5, which is really, really good. They were nice little lavender plants as well. Octopus Crime says, I've started a lavender patch for the bees, just waiting on the bees to visit now. Once they know you're there, they will be there, I promise. I promise they will. I love a lavender patch. And Nola says, I have to go away for the weekend to have a fox-proof coop with 6 chickens. For 6 chickens with only 3 in it. Could I leave the girls in with the autofeeder and water and just have someone pop in to check them? Yes, you could. I do that all the time. I go away, obviously, when we go to the farm, we go camping. We are gone from, Friday to Sunday or Saturday to Monday. As long as they've got enough water and they've got enough food, and if you've got a fox-proof coop, that's perfectly fine. You can have just somebody pop in, and then, obviously, you can sell the idea to them with, if they pop in, they get to keep any eggs. So just to have them pop in and they'll be perfectly fine. That is the thing that I really, really like about chickens. Chickens can just get on with it. So as long as they've got enough food and water, they're pretty self-sufficient. And if you're just going away for a couple of days, it's fine. Last year, I went on a family holiday to Cambersands, and I went Monday to Friday. So obviously I sorted everybody out on the Monday, and I was back by Friday lunchtime. So I was away for 3 whole days, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And again, everybody was completely fine with somebody just popping in, feeding the cat, and just checking on the chickens. So it shouldn't be any issue for you. Right, everybody. Well, we have hit 1 hour and 4 minutes, and I am sweating like anything in this jumper, but also quite tired. So I think I'm going to go to bed and call it a night. But thank you so much for popping in. It was really, really lovely to catch up with you all again. I hope to do another live stream in a couple of weeks, probably. And I hope to try and get back to a regular schedule and do our Magic Mondays and do our Friday videos. Thank you so much for bearing with me over this transition period of moving from, self-employed into the farming job and stuff. It's a lot of kind of processing, and my body's adjusting to it, but I hope to get back on track soon. So thank you for hanging around. Thank you for being part of this community, and I will see you later on in the week. So ta-ta for now. See you soon. Bye.